Again, this special webinar is being brought to you by Sante Engage in cooperation with the Sante Market Team. Thank you very much, Sir Ryan Lopez, Sir Jen Riel of the Market Team. Okay, let's get ready to rumble, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody, I'm sure, is excited for this afternoon. So I'll be starting to introduce, to the best of my ability, our resource speaker for this afternoon. Sorry. Okay, so let me read my script. If you guys are ready. Okay, our resource speaker for this afternoon is a success and wealth coach. He has been helping people achieve real success and real wealth in their lives. He has more than 20 years of extensive experience in conducting transformational, experiential, high-impact, and edutainment training programs here and abroad. He has conducted programs for CEOs down to the rank and file. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give a big, big round of applause for our favorite, Mr. Arnold. Aha! Anog! Good afternoon, Sir Arnold!
Hey, good afternoon, Ian. Good afternoon, everyone. Talagang mga pasabog mo, Ian, para ka lang nasa radio show, no? But thank you. So thank you so much, everyone, for choosing to join us this afternoon. Alam nyo naman, ang oras ng ito, ang oras na nakakatakot sa lahat. Dahil maraming pagkakataon, kahit na live program, itong oras na ito ang oras ng kababalaghan. Maraming tao ang nakukuha ng dilim sa mga oras na ito. So I hope you enjoy this. Sabi ko, ang pangako ko kila Ian, sabi ko, don't worry, exactly 2:30, we're done. So now, just to hit the ground already, again, welcome. So sa mga first time ko makikilala, my name is Arnold Anog, and people call me Aha. But here in Sante, we just call each other Kaibigan! All right, so quickly, you know this, if you're familiar with my programs, I always remind you that whatever program that we are, now we're right, ang title ng program natin, Rise Above the Crisis, for you to get the most out of your time, just like what I always tell you. Ano yun? To get the most out of your time, of any opportunity, pwede mag-unmute ng mic. I want you to participate. What kind of participation? Bawal ba silang mag-unmute naman? Oh, hindi sila makakasagot, Ian. Kasi nasa Facebook sila.
Pwede ko silang unmute. But are you ready for the simultaneous mic?
Gusto ko lang. Sandali, sabay-sabay lang. Okay. Unmute your mic.
I will allow them, yes.
Alright. Anong klaseng participation?
Pull out! Pull out! Pull out! Participation!
Pull out! Hello!
Pull out!
Participation!
I told you.
Unmute mo na ulit, Ian.
Pull out!
Do I pull out or I go full out?
Pull out!
I can pull out the microphones if you want.
Pull out the mic. Papa-unmute ko na lang yun.
Pull out. Unmute whenever you need it.
Alright, sige. I'll tell Ian to unmute you pagka kailangan. So again, participate pull out. Ako na mute. Okay. So again, todo palagi, participate 100%. Kahit na webinar ito, participate full out. Todo bigay na bigay. We're not sure kung meron pang bukas. And also, just like what I always remind you, be hot. So sabihin mo sa katabi mo, kaibigan, you're hot. Okay, yung hot natin is hotter, no? Honest. I want you to be honest, open, trusting, or transparent. Oh, nasira ang animation ko. I'm so sorry. R stands for responsible. Alright? So even dito sa maikling usapan natin, dahil yung font, nagpalit akong laptop eh. I'm sorry. Okay, so please, as I'll talk to you, you talk to yourselves. Continue to be honest. Tell ikaw ba yan? Continue to be open, trusting, and transparent as well, and be responsible. Okay, now for some of you that I met during the ABC, you will see a similar framework, but I'm going to discuss a different content. All right? Why? Because you know that I always remind you that any program or any webinar or any book that you're reading, no? If how-tos were enough, di sana lahat na lang tayo sexy, mayaman, at masaya. But the fact remains, hindi ganon eh. Hindi ganon. How-tos are never enough. How-to programs, how-to seminars, how-to na books are never enough. And I always remind you that again, the importance of, pero bakit ba importanteng umattend pa rin ng trainings, magbasa ng libro, if they are not enough? Well, this increases your level of awareness. Alam nyo yan, and I've been always reminding you. Okay, awareness is the key. Actually, sabi ng Cornell University, self-awareness, no, accurate self-awareness is the key to real success. Now, again, sabi natin, wala ka naman pwedeng mag-win sa buhay mo kung hindi ka aware. These are the same things that I'm telling you. But now, just like what I've shown you before, no, ang core human drive nating lahat is we wanted to be successful in all areas ng buhay natin. And I just want to focus on the things that we're doing differently right now. I'm going to talk about, actually, what am I going to talk about? Okay, the three places where we can end up in this during this time of crisis. Simon Sinek originally talked about this. I tweaked what we talked about the last time when I saw you in ABC to fit into what Simon Sinek is saying. So si Simon Sinek, if you're not a subscriber of Simon Sinek, you can follow him and learn a lot of things about Simon Sinek. But what I'm going to do is contextualize what Simon Sinek is saying dito sa nangyayari sa mundo natin ngayon and give you tools that you can use for you to rise above the crisis. All right? So, and alam natin yan, core human drive to be successful. We all wanted to go up the mountain, but the fact remains, hindi ganon kadali to go up the mountain. A lot of people then, bago pala magsimula to run after their goals, to rise above the crisis, hindi na nga makaporma. Why? They die in the process. Maybe not physically, but they die emotionally. They die spiritually. Patay na sa loob. Maybe they're surviving, but maybe they're alive, but they're dead inside. There's a lot of people like that. You know why they're dead inside? May dumating na krisis sa buhay nila and they cannot see anymore the future. May pinagdadaanan na pandemic, may pinagdadaanan na difficulty, may pinagdadaanan na adversity, wanted to give up already. In fact, they gave up already. You see them, they're alive, they walk, they go around, but they're dead inside. Wala nang passion sa puso. Spiritually, they're dead. Mentally, they are not sharp anymore. Why? Because they tend to look at the crisis. Again, for most of you who have seen me in ABC, this is just a reminder. A lot of people, when they see crisis, they're into resistance, denial. They go into denial. They're so afraid. They're so afraid of what's going to happen to their lives. Katulad ng sinabi ko naman sa inyo dati pa, that we always have a choice. Hindi totoong walang choice. May mga pagkakataon lang sa buhay na walang choices, pero in every action that you do, lahat ng action, lahat ng reaction, lahat ng response mo, this is a choice. Pinili mo yan. That's why when you look at crisis, you either see them as a threat or as an opportunity. You see them as a threat, yan. You fight or flight. Nilalabanan mo, you keep on denial, or you just leave. Parang pag may problema ka sa buhay mo, you just easily give up. Give up on your relationships. Give up on your career. Give up on your goals. Why? That's your choice. That's actually the main function of a brain, yung amygdala natin. No? Fight or flight response. But every time you see a crisis, and look at it as an opportunity to be stronger, better, wiser, you see a lot of discoveries and options. Alam mo yan. I always talk about this during the LLM. A difference between a person who's responsible and a person who's a victim. A person who's responsible will always see crisis as an opportunity. Someone who's always a victim will always wallow in the corner, wallow in the dark. They will always say, wala na akong magagawa. And again, maybe we are all in COVID-19. Or maybe this is post-COVID already. I don't know if we're going to be hit by the second wave. So we saw our neighboring countries, Japan, South Korea, China, we saw them succumb to there's second wave. Now, if we're going to hit by the second wave, kakayanin pa rin ba natin? Sometimes we're so insensitive. And actually, I've been a witness to a lot of webinars also. No? I've been a witness on just kung hindi man live webinars, I see posts from different posts from different, kasi everyone is going into coming up with their own live pages, coming up with their own communities, and a lot of things. No? And I've heard a lot of them misuse this popular quote, this very popular quote that up to now, I've been really searching who's the original author of this. Because ako, you know me in the programs that I do, I always want to give credit to the original, the original workers. The original person who worked on this. But somehow I cannot really find who's the original of this. But there are a lot of people out there claiming that it's theirs. But this is true as well. Sometimes people misuse this, no? But what is the real meaning of we are in the same storm but not in the same boat? It's not just about your circumstances, but actually totoo din naman yan. Maybe with this, the same COVID-19. This COVID-19, a lot of people who have plenty of money, they are so insensitive to say, hindi naman importante ang pera. That's not true. There are a lot of people, they will say, pare-pareho lang naman tayo nasa quarantine. Bakit kayo hindi? No, that's not true. We're different. Maybe same COVID-19, but we're totally different circumstances. But actually, the real meaning of this actually is perspective. Maybe we are in the same storm, but we see things differently. When we say, but we're not in the same boat, meaning we look at the same storm, but we see people, they see the storm as a paralyzing event, that they cannot do something about it anymore. They're dead. The thing is, they choose to see that as a threat. They start to feel like a victim. They go into a lot of denial. They go into a lot of blame. Bakit hindi sila nakapaganda sa quarantine? Bakit ganito yung community nila? Bakit ganito yung kanilang town o kanilang city? Ba't di nakakuha ng ayuda? Bakit yung iba ganito ang nangyayari? Bakit meron mga ibang hindi inaayos yung kanilang curfew hours? We keep on blaming. We keep on pointing fingers. We blame our president. We blame the situation. We blame God in the process. Some of us are asking, Lord, bakit ako? Bakit kami? Bakit may ganyan? They're victims. They're hopeless. Wala silang makitang pag-asa. They cannot see light at the end of the tunnel. And they're playing a lot of victim songs in their heads. Just like what I shared to you in the past. Favorite kanta nila, malayo pa ang umaga, di matanaw ang pag-asa, hanggang kailan magtitiis
ang paghihirap ko.
Yan naman. At sa gabi, ano yung kasunod nun, Ian?
Sa gabi, matutulog. Di ba yan?
But people, maybe who's in the same storm, see different things. They take responsibility for what's happening in their life. They go into acceptance. Niyayakap na nila yan. They embrace the fact that things are not going to be different. Again, things are not going to be the same anymore. Things are not going to be the same anymore. Ibang-iba na ang mundo. Parang mali sinabi ko kanina. Yeah, things are going to be different. Things are not going back to normal. Sabi ng McKinsey, it's not business as usual. You know what's the McKinsey said? Adapt fast or you'll end up last. Pag hindi ka nakapag-adapt. Babalikan ko yung quote na yan mamaya ni McKinsey. It's all about taking responsibility. When you take responsibility, you start to be hopeful. May nakikita kang pag-asa. Therefore, alam niyo ba ang hope sparks action? Because you're so hopeful. You think that there's light at the end of the tunnel. That inside of you, because you know how you have hope, you have faith. You have faith in your heart that you know that there's a big God who's going to take care of everything. You see light at the end of the tunnel. At napapakanta siya ng Ian. Ian, may bukas.
Para namang ano yun? Ang funeral.
Hindi naman. But it's an old song.
I'll
Why?
Tapos
Tapos sabi,
my
tutulog.
I don't know the notes.
Yeah, but si Paul would know that song, because it's his time. No, but it's, you start to become hopeful. You know, that's the key when you see things differently, when you look at things differently. You know what makes you different? Because as you face the crisis, no? And you know this, no? You know this, no? I will always remind you to shift, but with an F. You shift and you start to see, you know what helps you continue the fight, continue to rise above the crisis? It's your resilience. Yung resilience mo ang nakakatulong sa'yo. What's resilience? Ano ba yung resilience? Not a lot of people are resilient. In Tagalog, tatag ng loob, tibay ng loob. Are you resilient? Na kahit anong ipalo sa'yo, kahit anong ibato sa'yo, you still stand up and say, kaya ko to. That's resilience. Tagalog, tibay ng loob, tatag ng loob. Okay. Sabi ng Harvard Business School, resilience in the face of inevitable challenges and adversities is the most fundamental trait that will underline future success. Right? And you notice in my background, I used bamboo. Bamboo is very resilient. Pag may bagyo, they sway with the wind. Right? Unlike the oak tree, no? Yung mga matitibay na puno, na matitigas na puno, na hanginan, babagsak. You know why? Because they're not that resilient as the bamboo. They don't sway with the wind. Tingnan natin ulit. Inevitable challenges and adversities. Ibig sabihin, hindi maiiwasan. Habang nabubuhay, may challenges, may adversities, may problema. And anong kailangan? Sabi dito, anong fundamental trait ang kailangan? Resilience. Now, ito ang kakailanganin natin as we face the world, sabi ng Harvard Business School. Again, ano nga yung resilience? Let's define resilience. Resilience, ito yung kakayanan mo, is the ability to bounce back when things don't go as planned. Again, bounce back. It's your ability na bumalik. Bumagsak, balik agad. Crisis, balik agad. Ability to adapt and bounce back when things don't go as planned. Resilient people don't wallow or dwell on failures. Maybe a lot of you have planned so many things for the summer. You have planned so many things bago mag-school year. You have planned so many things, but they didn't go well. Now, tanong, are you resilient enough to not dwell on failures or do not wallow in the corner? A lot of people will just sulk in the corner. They wallow, they dwell on failures. They dwell on things na sabi na wala ng pag-asa at patuloy siyang kumakanta ng malayo pa ang umaga. Pero resilient na tao, bounce back. Balik agad. Balik agad when things don't go well as planned. Balik agad anytime disaster hits them. Anytime may adversity, every time mayroong difficulty, every time may problema, pandemic man yan, they bounce back immediately. Now, I'm going to share to you, kasi sabi ko sa inyo, I'm going to talk about, iibahin ko yung context, i-match ko doon sa pinagsasabi ni Simon Sinek, and I'm going to give you tools that you can use in your life, in your business, in your health, in your relationships. Okay? How can you sharpen your resilience? Tatlong C's lang ito, tatlong C's. Okay? Hindi tatlong magkakapatid na babae, ha? Tatlong C's. Okay? Tatlong letter C's. Okay? This is Suzanne Kobasa has done a lot of work about resilience. No? Ito yung counterpart ni Dr. Paul Stoltz. No? But Suzanne Kobasa said 3 C's that can help you sharpen, no? Patatagin ang kalooban mo. How can you sharpen your resilience? Number 1, challenge. Number 2, commitment. And number 3, control. Tatlong C's na makakatulong sa iyo to sharpen your resilience. I'm going to talk about it one by one. Isa-isahin natin ito. Isa-isahin natin si challenge. Anong sabihin ng challenge? Pagka daw binabato ka ng problema, pagka binabato ka ng iba't ibang difficulties, adversities, no? A lot of problems, pandemic, you start to view difficulty na not as a paralyzing event or a negative reflection of your abilities or self-worth. Ulitin ko lang. Di ba sabi nga natin, inevitable adversities and difficulties awaiting us. So beginning today, pag kami mga dumarating yan, huwag mo siyang tignan as something that you will pull you down. You look at it as something that can help you. So, ulit, something that can be a challenge for you to stand up and for you to have a better version, for someone to be a better version of yourself. Ulit, pag may dumating na problema, pwede bang umiyak? Pwede bang magpaka-victim? Pwede. But don't stay there for too long. Huwag masyadong matagal. Huwag masyadong matagal magpaka-victim. Na sinisi mo na lang yung tao, puro denial. Tapos wala, you end up hopeless. Pwedeng maging victim, bilisan lang. Shift agad. And my reminder sa inyong lahat, shift kayong lahat. Basta may F. You shift, immediately shift. Take responsibility. See these problems as a challenge. It is only going to challenge me become a better version of myself. Become stronger, become wiser, become better. Always remember those things. Now, okay, pag dumating ang problema, kaya this time, anong ginagawa mo? Pagdating ngayon ng problema, game! It will make me better, stronger, wiser. You welcome it because you view them as a challenge for you to become better. That's the first C, challenge. The second C, just like your marriage. Today, nga pala, no? June 3 is my 20th wedding anniversary. But
Congratulations. Happy anniversary!
But alam mo, si Ian, walang dobleng follow-up sa akin. Walang salitang, I immediately said yes. He said the date. You know me, pag Sante yan, alam ni John Atlas din yan. Alam yan nila Paul, that whenever you call on me, as long as my schedule is free, I say yes. Most of the time, I say yes without thinking. Oy, mag-a-annotate, lalagay niya, happy anniversary, Arnold. Paki-clear na lang, Ian, yung annotation. Thank you.
Sure.
Alright. Okay. So, ano ba yung commitment na sinasabi natin? Commitment, you are committed to your lives. You're committed to your lives and their goals. Ang mga taong resilient, committed to their lives and their goals, they have a compelling reason to get out of bed in the morning. Ulit. To sharpen your resilience, para mas lalong tumibay ang loob mo, bukod sa tinatrato mong challenge, yung mga problema, sabi mo, importante to get in touch with your goals and stay committed in it. Meaning, you always get in touch with your big why. Not the big wife. Huh? Big why. W-H-Y. Why are you doing this? Why is this important to you? What are the things that you said na ipaglalaban mo habang nabubuhay ka ba? Is it a relationship goal? Is it a financial goal? Is it a career goal? Is it a health goal? Is it a spiritual goal? But what are your goals? Commit to your goals. Commit to your lives. Commit to those things. No, alam mo, yung ibang mga tao nga, they fight for their spiritual beliefs. They fight for their relationships. You fight for your commitments. Ito yung sabi ng Nescafe, na para saan ka bumabangon, para kanino ka bumabangon araw-araw. Remind yourself of your commitment. What are these commitments that you want to hold on to? Whatever happens, anuman ang iba to sa'yo, anuman ang humarang sa'yo, you will decide to stand up and keep it going. That's the second C. Control? Challenge, commitment. We're talking about control this time. Okay. What do I mean by control? Nandiyan pa rin si annotation. Okay. Alright. Okay. So, paki-clear na lang whoever annotated. Okay. Alright. Okay. There you go. Ano yung control? We want to spend our time and energy focusing on situations and events that they have control over. They put their efforts where they can have the most impact. Ano to? Marami sa atin, we spend a lot of time, effort, and energy focusing on things na hindi naman natin kayang gawa ng paraan. Focusing on things na wala naman tayong control. focusing on things that are beyond our powers to decide upon. Beginning today, para yung tibay ng loob mo, kasi baka mamaya, matibay nga loob mo, pero you keep on focusing on things that you cannot control. You know what happens to you? Fatigue, stress. So, this time, you look at things that you have control, that you can put maximum impact. Spend all your time, effort, and energy in all of these things. During COVID-19, a lot of people are, kung ano, kanya-kanyang galit, mura sa kanilang mga leaders, barangay leaders, government leaders, our president. They blame the school system, they blame the hospital, they blame a lot of people. Dami-dami nilang iniisip, nakikisama pati doon sa pinaglalaban ng nagsarang channel, no? Pati sila nakikibaka for ABS-CBN, lahat sila pati gusto rin naman pumunta ng US at makipaglaban sa mga bagay na wala namang silang control or contribution. Okay? And it's beyond your control. Ano ba yung unang-una mong kayang kontrolin? Mindset. You control how you respond. You control your heart set. You control your emotions. Of course, there will be times na kailangan mong umiyak-iyak. Pero bilisan lang. Shift agad. You control how you respond. You just don't react. You put all your effort doon sa merong impact. Why? Para you can save your energy, you can save your time, you can save all your effort. At makapag-focus ka doon sa mga bagay na mas importante. Excuse me po. Now, so ulit, 3 C's to sharpen your resilience. Challenge, commitment, control. But a lot of people, they may be resilient, but you know what happens to them? Pag napagod na, they just stay there. They survive. They merely survive. Sabi ni Simon Sinek, ang dami-daming tao, during crisis, they just survive. They just barely hanging on. They just hang on. At sabi nila, buhay pa naman, okay lang. They stay where they are. They are in their comfort zones. At sabi nila, okay na, dito hanggang dito na lang muna ako. But they just survive. They don't fight for the things that are committed to do. They don't fight for their goals. They don't fight anymore for what's more important in their lives. Hindi na nila nilalaban yung gusto nila sa buhay. Hindi na nila ilalaban yung calling nila. Kasi yung importante lang sa buhay nila is just to survive. Matibay nga ang loob niya. They do not die in the process. I mean, they do not die emotionally and spiritually in the process because they're resilient. Matibay ang loob. Look at a lot of Filipino people. A lot of Filipino people, a lot of people in the world are survivors. They survive, but they just merely hang on, waiting for the next ayuda. Waiting for the next people who will extend the hand to them and help them. They don't do something about it. They're very passive. They're just resilient. Oo nga, matibay sila. But that's it, period. They don't have another skill called adaptability. They do not adapt quickly. They do not adapt fast. Remember, you need to adapt fast or you end up last. But what is adaptability? Pag-usapan natin adaptability. Kanina, resilience ang pinag-usapan natin. Kailangan natin ng resilience para makabangon. Kailangan natin ng resilience para harapin ang mga inevitable challenges, inevitable difficulties and adversities. Anong kailangan natin ngayon? To continually thrive and not just survive? Adaptability. Ano yung adaptability? Did you know that there's a lot of debate, ang daming debate, ang daming pagtatalo in finding out who is the most adaptable animal o who's the most adaptive animal. Actually, maraming mga research, maraming mga nagsasabi kung sino bang most adaptive. Pero pinagtatalunan pa rin. Did you know kung ano ba talaga ang most resilient animal na hindi madaling mamatay? Meaning matagal na silang nag-e-exist Tapos kahit anong gawin mo, hindi basta-basta nag-e-extinct yung kanilang race o yung kanilang lahi ng mga animals na to. Iyan, pa-unmute nga. Gusto ko lang marinig kung ano kaya sa tingin nila. Ako, ilan to? Ilang hundreds yung magsasagot?
176
Oh,
to.
wow!
Eddie.
Parang mapapasubo tayo dito sa kanila natin. Iyan. So, sino ang pinaka-resilient na animal sa tingin mo? Pinaka-patibay?
Pusa.
Pusa? Kasi may 9 lives.
Wow. Carabao.
Carabao? Ano kaya? Ano pa? Animal. Baka yung katabi mo kumukhang animal. Pero hindi.
Eagle.
Eagle?
Lion.
Matagal na sila.
Ipis.
Ayun.
Lion.
Nahigaan.
O, iyan. Iyan. Pabalik na ulit sa... Salamat. Iyan. Alright. May narinig ako dito. Ay, sorry, nakamute din pala ako. Na-mute din ako. Okay, may narinig akong tamang sagot. Ipis. Isa daw yon sa pinaka-resilient na animals. Na?
Arnold, may nabasa lang ako, may nag-private message sa akin. Yung asawa niya daw. Nakatibay kasi animal daw eh.
Alam mo kahapon ng bad, sabi ko, sino ang pinaka-animal na mahirap mamatay? Alam mo sabi, si Enrile daw. Sabi ko, ano ba kayo? Ang bad nyo. Sabi ko, animal. Tapos alam mo sabi niya, opo, buhaya po yun. Ano ba? So parang bad, no? That's bad, no? Pero alam mo ba, kung anong animal ang tinutukoy nila? Sabi nung iba, it's the Komodo dragons. Itong Komodo dragons daw, ano man, kung gaano kalaki yan, they can grow as tall as you, Ian. Ganyan kahahaba pagka tumayo, as tall as you, Ian. So they are now endemic in India, no? So sa India lang sila. Pero sabi ng mga researchers kasi tsaka mga fans ng Komodo dragons, panahon pa daw ng dinosaurs, nandiyan na yung Komodo dragons. Naku, ni-refute yan ng mga fans ng mga pating. Diba? Sabi, anak ka ng pating. No? Pero yung mga sharks, this is a modern day shark. May mga sharks of the olden ages. Sabi sa pag-aaral ba naman, sabi ng mga scientists, may lumitaw, 200 million years na daw ang sharks. So, pero hindi naniwala dyan ang mga fans ng penguins. Ang penguins daw, ang species na mahirap mamatay. Kasi yung mga penguins, sanay sa lamig yan, down south. Sanay sila sa lamig, walang galawan ng pwesto, matagal sila bago makakain, they can survive. Penguins can do that. Kaya nga daw sila happy feet. Pero maraming nagsabi, katulad ng sumagot na isa sa inyo kanina, ipis ang matibay. Kasi bagsakan mo man yan ng nuclear bomb sa Hiroshima o sa Nagasaki, Japan, buhay pa rin yung mga yan. That's true, no? Doon sa bombings na nangyari noong 1945 sa Hiroshima at Nagasaki, maraming tao namatay, pero ang mga ipis, buhay. Pero alam mo ba, scientists all over the world would agree, who's the most resilient species? Itong mga osong dagat or the water bears. They are called the tardigrades. Baka naman sabihin niya na naman, yan po yung katabi ko ngayon. Hindi, ha? Sino yung mga osong dagat o ang mga tardigrades? Ang mga tardigrades ay micro-animals. You may not be able to see them because their average length is 0.5 millimeters. Maximum na nila yung 1.2 millimeters. Yun yung record na pinakamalaking tardigrades o osong dagat. Pero hindi lang sa dagat sila nakikita ng mga water bears na ito. They can survive in different environments. In fact, they can survive in space. They can survive with air deprivation. Walang air kaya nila. They survive starvation. They can survive radiation more than the radiation that cockroaches can withstand. Ganyan sila katibay. So they would agree, okay, sige na nga, ang tardigrades, mahirap patayin na species. Hindi basta-basta namamatay yan. Pero alam mo ba, they may be resilient. matibay, matatag. But they are unlike the most adaptable species. Sino yung most adaptable species? Tayo, human beings. Why? Because why are we the most adaptable species? Kasi we just don't survive. Those animals na pinakita ko sa inyo kanina, they're very resilient. Matibay sila, but they just survive. They do not thrive. Our species, we thrive. We thrive in any environment. Kahit sobrang lamig, kahit sobrang init, kahit sa bundok mo mandalin, kahit sa slum areas, mabubuhay pa rin. Kahit sa highly urbanized cities, mabubuhay pa rin. We're highly adaptive or adaptable. Na kahit anong ibato mo sa atin, kahit anong ibato mo sa tao, malindol man lang yan, early January, I was in Taal. During that day. I was in, what do you call that? Doon sa mismo sa baba. Oh my goodness, I forgot the resort there. But anyway, it's in we're beside the Taal Lake when meron akong 2 days na program doon. Pumutok ang bulkan. And look at us, di ba? Look at the people of Taal. They're still surviving. Not just surviving, but thriving. At kahit anong bagyo pa man ang dumating dyan, at kahit anong baha ang dumating, at kahit anong sunog ang di ba? Sa araw lang may sunog na naman sa Mandaluyong. But again, people just keep on coming back and they continue to thrive kahit na may gera. Look at Marawi now. And we can even survive. We can not just survive but thrive in a financial crisis. You know that people, maybe marami tayong kakilala, they do not thrive in financial crisis. But I know I have a lot of friends who survive, not just survive, but thrive in a financial crisis. They continue to make money even in a financial crisis. They continue to thrive even in the face of this pandemic. So, it's not just resilience. You need adaptability. Kailangan mo yan so that you can continue to thrive in this time of crisis, in this time of pandemic. Now, tanong, Arnold, ano ba yung adaptability na sinasabi mo? Oh, let's define adaptability. Adaptability is the ability, listen to this, the ability of a person to change the actions, the course or approach to doing things in order to suit a new situation or condition. Ibig mong sabihin, ang mga taong ito, may pinagdadaanan. Ang mga taong adaptable, may pinagdadaanan, pero may kakayanan siyang baguhin yung ginagawa niya. May kakayanan siyang baguhin yung dadaanan niya, baguhin yung approach niya sa ginagawa niya in order to suit mga bago o kakaibang sitwasyon o condition na meron siya ngayon. Yan ang adaptable na tao. Ang mga adaptable na tao, they continue to thrive in different or in depressing or in tough situations. Maraming tao, they fail to adapt. That's why they end up last. So continue to adapt. When you continue to adapt, what happens? You keep on evolving. Hindi ka naiiwan. Maraming organisasyon, maraming kumpanya nagsara. Maraming tao na wala ng pag-asa. They are just merely surviving, again, waiting for the next ayuda because they failed to adapt. They failed to adapt. So what will we be needing in our pursuit so that we can continue to thrive even in the different situations? Number 1, embrace the fact, yakapin mo na. Embrace the fact that change or changes are bound to happen. Alam niyo yan, paulit-ulit kong sinasabi sa inyo, habang nabubuhay, may mga pagbabagong mangyayari. Once you have embraced that, pag nayakap mo na yan, then you are able to prepare for the changes that are bound to happen. Even with the death of a loved one. Alam mo, dahil noon pa man, tinuro ko na sa inyo, live your life full out. Todo, bigay na bigay, as if it's the last. Now, when you embrace all of these things, you prepare yourself so much. You prepare yourself already. When you are prepared to do this, matapang kang you're resilient and you are quickly adapting to changes. Kasi mabilis kang kasi every time may changes sa buhay natin, yung iba naiiwan into denial. Yung iba naiiwan into confusion. Denial, confusion, before they can go to acceptance and take action. Once you embrace the fact na palaging may changes, ang bilis mo na doon sa proseso. Mula denial to confusion, dire-diretso, you're taking actions already. So embrace the fact that the changes are bound to happen. Be aware of the changes around you. Do not just accept the fact that, alam ko na maraming pagbabago. But are you aware? Ano yung nangyayari? Are you aware of the things that are changing? Baka naman hindi. Baka you're not aware of the changes around you. Baka hindi ka aware na may mga bago ng polisiya. Baka hindi ka ma-aware na marami ka nang alam noon na hindi na effective ngayon. Be aware of the changes around you. And sabi ko nga, baka marami kang alam na ngayon, noon, na hindi na kailangan ngayon. That's why continue to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Ano yan? Sabi ni Alvin Toffler, the illiterate of the future are not, or the illiterates of the future are not those people who cannot read, write, or cannot read or write, but the ones who do not know how to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Sabi ni Alvin Toffler, yan ang mga illiterates ng future. They cannot learn new things. They're so proud of their past. They're so proud of the things that worked for them in the past. Baka hindi na applicable. Baka yung alam mo, hindi na totoo. You're so proud to learn new things because of your past victories. Akala mo, you're at the peak of your mountain and you're not, no? You cannot learn anything, or you don't need to learn anything new. My friend, ang dami mong kaibigan, ang dami mong kailangang matutunan. Ang dami mong kailangang i-unlearn. Mga bagay na narinig mo na hindi naman totoo. Mga beliefs that are pulling you down, unlearn it. Then relearn. Relearn basic things. Di ba ngayon, we're relearning basic things. Wash hands, take care of our body, take care of our health. We are relearning all of these basic things. Baka yun ang importante. Again, adapt fast or end up last. Yan ang kailangan natin for us to completely thrive. Not just rise above the crisis, but not just survive the crisis, but eventually to thrive amidst or in the presence of any crisis. It's about thriving. The goal is not to survive this, but the goal is to thrive. Well, of course, so first and foremost, you survive first. How do you survive? Resilience. Remember, challenge, commitment, control. Patatagin mo yung loob mo. At pag nakikita mo yung asawa mo, pag nakikita mo yung anak mo, pag nakikita mo yung kaibigan mo, wallowing in the dark, nakafocus do sa victim stories niya, panayang kanta ng malayo pa ang umaga, puntahan mo. Tapikin mo sa balikat, sabihin mo, kaibigan, shift ka. Shift to being responsible. How do you do that? So, as you become resilient, tumitibay yung loob mo, you manage to survive. But what we wanted is to thrive. And how do we thrive? Adaptability. You tap into your adaptability. Again, embrace that there are changes going to happen. Be aware of those changes. Learn, unlearn, and relearn. So be adaptable. Now, tanong Arnold, how can we continue to thrive amid the crisis? Now, how can you thrive amid the crisis? 3 things then. Mahilig ako sa 3. Actually, rule of 3 yan kung tawagin. It's for those of you who are presenters, who are trainers, o may added tool. Always present things in 3. Okay, so how to thrive amid the crisis, because it's easier to remember kung tatlo lang. How to thrive amid the crisis. Number one, you sharpen your saw. Whatever you do. And thank you so much. Alam mo, ang galing-galing ng Sante. NetDev, ang galing-galing nyo. Alam mo, Paul, Ian, no, Chi, and Bing, no, sila Sheila sa NetDev. Aba, did I miss anyone in NetDev? You guys in NetDev, you're doing a great job of seeing to it. Alam mo, and the least that you can do, my dear Sunday friends, is to attend. The least that you can do is to show back your support to your NetDev team, to your company, by showing up. Your presence matter. You know, your presence matter a lot. Pagka, alam mo yun, people remember People remember who are absent. People remember. Of course, we appreciate those who are present. But we remember those who did not come. I mean, just show up. Your company, Sante, is investing so much. Katulad itong hapon na to, no? They set aside 500,000 for me. Applauses, 500,000 applauses. They set aside their resources. They set aside their time to see to it that they can do their part in sharpening your saw. Your part, my dear kaibigans in Sante, please show up. Your presence matters so much. Now, so continue to sharpen your saw. Ano man ang ginagawa mo, continue to read books, continue to engage with one another, no? Call each other, sharpen your saw, listen to people, subscribe to Nako, ang dami, magsasawa ka sa Facebook. Ang dami-daming mga taong nag-offer ng free services nila. Okay? But watch out because yung free services nila may mga para you can buy yung mga future programs nila. But then anyway, at least they're doing something about it. But sharpen your saw. Okay? Again, alam ko tong si Sante, weekly may mga ginagawa para sa inyo. So continue to sharpen your saw, and whatever you're doing in all areas of your life, continue to sharpen it. No, I'm not just talking about your business. Develop new skills or habits. This for me is very important. Okay, personal story. My last live program was March 2. I did a visioning workshop. For one of the multinational companies in Taguig. We had so much fun. That was batch 1. Okay, the president decided to do it for all 2,500 employees. Okay, and I was so happy. Yay! Okay, kasi gagawin. March 2 was the last live training day that I did. Kasi starting March 3, all my programs were canceled or moved to a later date. I had to develop new skills. I had to develop new habits so that I can adapt quickly. So you know what we did? I studied all. I had myself be familiarized with all the webinar platforms out there. I'm very proficient in Zoom already. I'm very proficient in WebEx. I'm very proficient in Microsoft Teams, in Google Meets, in dating Hangouts. Why? Because I want to develop new skills. I really trained myself how to shift from live programs to webinars. I had to watch out. I cannot do this anymore. I had to control my gestures. So I had to develop new skills and habits so that I can continue to thrive amid the crisis. I developed something new. You know, my passion about personal finance, you know this. I have a program called Mukha ng Pera. I pray that I can still do Mukha ng Pera through a series of webinars. But you know my passion in personal finance. And ever since in the past, people were asking me about suggestions. Kami ng grupo nila, I was invited by June Atlas for LOC and some other leaders. And they kept on asking me where to put money. Because of that question, I really studied. I told a lot of LOC members and people present during that time, I told you that I'll come back for you because I'm still studying. I'm still really researching on what's the best way to do it. And on Saturday at 3 p.m., I'll be doing a free orientation on global trading and global investing. And this time, I can confidently say that these are the things that you can do. It's very simple. Even here in the Philippines, we can buy shares of stocks of multinational companies, Facebook, Apple, Tesla, and these things. Send me a message in my messenger. You know me, most of you kaibigan ako sa Facebook, Arnold H. Anog. Send me a message plus the questions. I know that we have limited time today because believe it or not, right after Sunday, I'm moving into another webinar for a top multinational company as well. Okay, and so pagkatapos ko ito, I'm gonna just switch Zoom channel. If I'm not be able to answer your questions, I want you to send Ian sa mga chat box na Ian yung message, and I have agreed with Ian already that Ian is going to throw me all the questions that left unanswered. Okay? But I will get back to you. And for those of you who were present during my talk for LOC and some other leaders, this is the time that I'm getting back at you. I hope to see you on Saturday. You send me a message kung hindi mo malagay mga questions dito sa Arnold H. Anog sa Messenger, and I'll get back to you. Okay? So I develop new skills and habits that can help me and a lot of people during this quarantine. You know why? Sabi nga nila, don't end up as the same person that you started with during the start of quarantine. By the end of the quarantine, will you be confident enough that you have really adapted, that you really thrive even in the time of crisis? Alam mo, I never thought that I will during the first few days of quarantine, I was really panicking, no? Nagpapanik ako, nagiging bat ako, nagiging panicking. I was panicking how to feed my family because you know what I do. Wala nang source of income. But God is so good. God is so good. You know, opportunities come to those who are prepared. Since I prepared myself, I studied how to do webinars. Together with my team, I familiarized myself with the platform, with different platforms. And therefore, I was able to do a lot of webinars. Just today, I have 4 webinars just for today. This is the most special webinar. Why? And I'm not kidding you. Kanina habang kumakain ako with my family, I'm telling you, I'm so excited for this because these are the things that I'm so passionate to talk about. Yung iba kasi na gagawin ko mamaya, sales. But I'm very passionate about this. I'm very passionate about resilience, adaptability. I'm very passionate about thriving. Find ways to thrive in this pandemic, in this crisis. Lastly, you innovate. And alam ko, sawang-sawa na kayo just sa topic na innovate. But it's really all about that. Innovating what you've been doing. And I know that you guys, you have your businesses na continually growing in spite of this crisis or amid this crisis. That you guys, di ba, biglang naging alive ang inyong online selling. I know a lot of you are so effective in the past with your online selling. No, yung grupo ng Catalyst, yung grupo nila Che, no, talagang noon pa man nababalitaan ko na who's really into your online selling or online marketing. And then a lot of people now started to develop. And I know they're upping their game also. They're upping their games. They're continually innovating. Because what if all people know what you're doing already? How can you continually innovate? So continue to do all of these things. Sharpen your saw, develop new skills, develop new habits, and continue to innovate. You know, because ulitin ko lang yung sinabi ko noon, ngayon, we do not know what tomorrow brings. A lot of people are so careless nowadays. Nung na-announce yung GCQ, akala mo, ang in-announce, may gamot na o may vaccine na. And everyone was running out of their homes, doing irresponsible things already. But continue to take care of yourself. Continue to take care of your loved ones. Now, I'd like to end it. Hindi ako yan, ha? Baka sabihin, si Arnold yan, magulo lang ang buhok. But Albert Einstein said, always learn from yesterday. Dati ko pa sinasabi sa inyo yan, every time before you retire, before you retire for the day, before you go to sleep, you always ask yourself, what did I learn today? What are the things that I'll be doing differently? Learn from your past. That's being adaptable. That you learn from the past and immediately apply it for today. Live for today. And I always remind you, live full out. Todo bigay na bigay 100%. Basta hindi illegal, dangerous, questionable, or immoral. Basta hindi ungodly. Itodo. Then we hope for tomorrow. You know that hope can only come from your faith. They're like wings. Di ba I told you? They're like wings. Hope and faith, they go together. You cannot have hope for tomorrow if you don't have faith. Anong magiging groundwork nitong hope mo kung wala kang faith? You're so hopeful because you have a strong faith. And your strong faith brings you a lot of hope. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Sabi ni Albert Einstein, hindi yung sinabi niyang the important thing is not to stop questioning. Baka yung questioning nasa isip mo bakit ako? Bakit ganito? Bakit buong mundo? Bakit siya? Bakit? Hindi mga ganong tanong. But the questioning here that Albert Einstein is referring to is not to stop questioning how you can be a better version of yourself. What do I need to learn? What do I need to unlearn? What do I need to relearn? Do not stop questioning. After you question yourself, you go to after you ask, meaning question, hindi yung question na ganon. But after you ask yourself these questions, again, baka narinig nyo na sa akin to in the past, go to your spouse. You ask your spouse, hon, how can I be a better spouse to you? How can I be a better wife to you? How can I be a better husband to you? You talk to your children. You go down on your knees, level with your kids, and you ask them, how can I be a better dad? How can I be a better mom? You talk to your parents if they're still here. You ask them, how can I be a better son, better daughter? You go to your siblings, how can I be a better brother, better sister? You pick up your phone, you call your friends. Oh, sorry, Arnold, we don't pick up phones anymore. We do Zoom over laptop. Okay, whatever you do. But get in touch, engage people, connect with people. Ask them how they are. And before you say goodbye to each other, you ask them, kaibigan, how can I be a better friend to you? How can I be a better version of myself? Ask for feedback. Ask yourself feedback. Ask other people for feedback. Do not stop to ask questions on how can you be better. And so, sabi ko kay Ian, I want to give a lot of time for the Q&A because for some people, I hope you took pictures of the slides, things that can remind you of the lessons that you learned today. I hope that you learned something. But I want to give time to sa Q&A because, probably we're so concerned how to rise above the crisis. Probably at this point, hindi natin alam pa kung paano. Probably I honor and respect the space where you are right now. If you find yourself in a corner, if you find yourself being a victim of this crisis, being a victim of circumstances, being a victim of other people, or being a victim to whatever's happening around you, yes, you need resilience. Yes, you need adaptability. Not just to rise, but to thrive. But at the end of the day, it's not rise above the crisis. Christ is above the crisis. And there are a lot of things in your life that maybe are beyond your control. Maybe there are a lot of things happening in your life na sabi mo, this is beyond me, I cannot understand this anymore. remember to turn to someone who will never leave you nor abandon you in times like this. And so thank you so much, my dear Sante family. Thank you, NetDev, for inviting me to this afternoon of learning. Thank you, everyone, for this. Before I will leave, I will open the floor for Q&A. I will give you until, Ian, itodo mo na lahat yan hanggang ubusin natin yan 25 minutes sa Q&A natin. Ian?
Sure. Thank you, Arnold. I'd like to take this opportunity to personally thank you in behalf of NetDev. You always leave us in awe. And of course, in behalf of all our leaders and distributors, no, that 60 minutes was like 3 hours or more dahil sa dami ng learnings. Thank you very much, and for giving us your time. Today is your anniversary. Thank you talaga. But anyway,
my favorite time.
I haven't seen any question yet because the whole 60 minutes everybody was really listening. But in case any one of you is still has still something to ask, please type in the chat box or raise your hand. Maybe I can call you and unmute you.
Please. Naku, I devoted a lot of time. I devoted a lot.
24 minutes still. We can still use up 24 minutes.
Sa pinagdadaanan mo ngayon. Kung nahihiya ka, send it privately to me. I will not mention your name. Pero sasagutin ko.
Yeah,
Kung wala pa nagsasend pala. At titignan ko, baka may mga nagsend privately na.
I haven't seen any kasi maybe they're just typing. Here's one. Let me read it. It's from March Cesario Lin. Question is there a possibility na magkaroon ng LLM via Zoom?
Okay, we're exploring this. I asked Paul for the general feel about this. But once we have enough people who will clamor for this, yes, we're going to do. Because I've done a lot of webinars. Our team has done a lot of webinars. Now we have cut it we have cut it into four 4-hour, sorry, 8, bali at total, magto-total ng 6 4 hours. So basta, just tell us if we have enough clamor for this. Siguro, Ian, what we can do is come up with a list. If we have enough clamor for this, we're going to push through with it. Because again, this pandemic cannot stop us from doing what we're doing. And for enrolling people dun sa something that you have experienced that you want others to experience as well.
Yeah.
So yes, we're, ang haba ng sagot ko, no? So yes, we can look into that. We can have it scheduled.
Yeah, we'll have a pre-booking maybe. For those
Yeah, please let me know. Okay, here, privately. Ay, hindi. May nagsagot. Okay, sabi niya, kilala ko kung sino kasama mo doon nung pumutok yung Taal. Balay Isabel po yun. Okay, there you go. I was in Balay Isabel during that time. Alright, so kala ko
already natagay tayo, nasa baba na yun.
Nasa baba. Oh, thank you so much. There are people thanking me privately. Pero ito shout out ko lang I love this woman. My heart bleeds for this woman. But I was so glad that I was able to talk to her. I learned late about this. Hello, She. You're welcome. And she sent me a private message. Thank you. Puro mga thank you. Gusto ko tanong.
I have one.
Ito, tanong. What is the difference? Ang nagtanong nito ay hindi ko sabihin kasi na. Ang nagtanong, what is the difference between self-confidence and resilience? Nice to see you again. Alright, okay. Self-confidence, malakas lang ang loob mo. Ang resilient, matibay ang loob mo. Maraming tao, malakas ang loob, but they don't have the right foundation. Meaning, malakas ang loob, matapang, ang tawag namin dito, poser. Maraming mga tao, mga poser o false bravado. Yung puro lakas lang ng loob, pero walang tibay ng loob. Ang maraming tao, malakas ang loob, pero mali yung ginagawa. Ano nangyayari? They tend to lead those people who are astray, they tend to lead them sa mga maling daan. Kasi hindi naman talaga actually, wala namang solid foundation yung pagiging malakas ng loob niya. May solid na foundation yung matitibay talaga yung loob versus mga malalakas lang ang loob. I hope I answered that. Mukha bang clear? Mukha namang clear. Iyan, mukha bang may sense yung sinabi?
Sounds right. Yeah.
And then the question, yeah, I love questions. Sir, question po, how do you declutter your mind when bombarded with different priority? Halatang matanda, no? Ang lapit sa screen, no? Nagbabasa. Okay. Wala na ako. How do you declutter your mind when bombarded with different priorities? Trying to ask for your attention. Tao ba ito? But okay. But with different priorities, trying to ask for your attention. Thanks so much po. Okay. Although I teach this in other programs, but kaibigan ko tong nagtanong na ito. Actually, marami naman sa inyo kaibigan. Okay. Know your priorities. What matters most? Kukurutin kita. Ikaw din yung nagtanong sa akin dati noon. Nung nandun ako sa LOC, sabi mo yung maraming tao. Huwag natin balikan yung mga nakaraan. Okay. But you have the power, have the confidence to say no. Because you are not meant to be everything to everyone. Ulit. You cannot be everything to everyone. Set your priorities. Alun lang ba mga importante sa buhay mo? And then say no to things that distract you. Once you know your priorities, it's so easy to identify the distractions. Once they are, meron akong ikikwento, may ikikwento ko. Taga Sante ito. Pero chinek ko, wala na siya. Buti naman. Sabi niya sa akin, ay, hindi pala sumasagot ito sa PM. So sabi ko, di nag-sorry ako. Sabi ko ganun. Because sabi ko ganun, I'm sorry that my friends would really know that I do not immediately, I cannot answer immediately because of the things that I do. Okay? Tapos sabi niya sa akin, unfriend na nga kita? Sabi ko, sure. Sige, baka hindi rin naman kita ma-servan as a real friend. So, okay, so inunahan ko siya, I unfriended him, tapos I blocked him. Ang pangalan niya bali ay hindi. Yung sabihin. But then again, I don't get affected saying no to people because I know my priorities. Once you know your priorities, it's so easy to say no to distractions. Okay, practicein to ha. Kasi ang mga muscle natin, parang masanay tayo sa ganyan. Alright? Learn to say no. Munti ka na mabanggit pangalan mo. Okay. Okay. Ito. Yeah, LLM via Zoom. We're going to work on that. Ulit, pwede po ba LLM? Nandito tuloy ako, LLM via Zoom. We're working on that. Okay. Always learning, but always do on the okay. This is nice. Always learning a lot from you, but always go back to my default. How can I sustain applying the learnings? Miss you po. Alright. Hindi ko banggitin kung sino ito. Alright. Yeah. Ay, nako. Everyone take a deep breath. Ito yung palagi kong sinasabi sa'yo. Open the screen again, ha? Ito yung palagi kong sineshare sa inyo at paulit-ulit at sawang-sawa na kayo dito sa mga sinasabi kong ito. But it's true, no? It's true. This one. You see, if how-tos were enough, di sana lahat tayo sexy, mayaman, masaya. But why is it not enough? Kasi sometimes, we put all our hopes in an awareness program, in an awareness seminar. There are very little things that I can do. I can only make you aware, but I cannot change you. If you're aware of the things that you need to change, di ba sabi ko nga sa inyo, awareness comes before change. You've done all the things that you can do, but it's not enough. Please remember, crisis above the crisis. Yan lang ang masasabi ko sa inyo. Surround your people who can always bring you back. Surround yourself with people who can always remind you of the important things in your life. Surround yourself with that's why alam mo tong LOC, yung ginagawa ng LOC, yung ginagawa ng NetDev, yung ginagawa nyo in continually engaging one another. Reach out to people who can remind you, who can help you. All right? So thank you. Puro mga thank you. Good afternoon.
I have one.
Ano sa?
Can I read this one?
Sige. All right.
Yeah, I have one from Leo Lubit.
Hello, Leo.
He's asking for tips on how to control emotion.
Nako. Leo. Okay, wrong number. Next.
Alam mo, I was trying, he privately messaged me and sent the message. And 3 people were actually sending this message. I was actually testing his patience.
Bakit mo sinabi yung pangalan? Private pala. All right. Okay.
Public and private.
Do you know that we are creatures of emotions? And it's so difficult, It's so difficult to stop our emotions. That's why we just find ourselves crying, di ba? Oh, this is, you know what you do? Awareness. As you ask yourself, now, sandali. Pag nagalit ba ako, what will be the best? You do a lot of self-talk, no? This is my commitment for the next few months, no? I'm writing a book called Aha Moments, no? Transforming yourself through the power of self-talk. You do a lot of self-talk. You ask yourself, do I need to react or respond this way? Gusto ko ba yan? Kaya ko ba na bitawan yung salita na yan o bitawan ng emotion na ito? Doing a lot of self-talk allows you to pause for a while and think about it before this time you just simply react. You now start to respond. You start to take control of your emotions. At hindi ka na lang basta-basta umiiyak, hindi ka na lang basta-basta nagbabasag ng laptop, hindi ka na lang basta-basta grabe yung looting, Hindi ka na lang basta nagbabasag-basag ng glass panel. But you respond. And once you're more aware of the result of the choices that you will make, you will have better chances of controlling your emotions. But then again, we are creatures of emotions. That's why whenever para ako nagsasign of the cross. That's why when you attend my programs about money management, I want you to do a lot of self-talk with your feelings, with your thinking, and with your body, and with what God is telling you to do.
Okay, we have another caller. Wow. Sir Paul wants to ask a question. Sir Paul?
Paul! Hello, Paul!
Hey, Arnold.
Gandang lalaki.
Yun, lalo ka na. I mean, I like the hairdo, man. It's something new. Really, really nice seeing you, bro. My question is, Arnold, a lot of the people that are watching are mentors already.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, what advice could you give to the mentors who have teammates under them or business partners under them who have a difficulty in adjusting to the new norm? Maybe they're in the state of denial or confusion. Kasi maraming ganun ngayon. They're stuck, di ba? And the mentors actually, dapat, di ba, they should be able to help them. Anong advice mabibigay mo sa mga mentors?
Alright, okay. Unang-una, dapat yung mentor na yan andito. Alright, okay. My dear mentors, my dear leaders, please continue to connect, continue to engage with other leaders. Tapos, continue to be an inspiration to other people. When you don't, kasi minsan, you know what I notice? A lot of people, a lot of leaders, a lot of mentors, they only highlight on their success. You know why I love what do you call this? Under Armour, the Under Armour brand. You can Google them. Search mo yung mga Under Armour, yung mga YouTube commercials ng Under Armour, and they focus on the struggles of the person. They focus on their way, from struggling, from just merely surviving to thriving. When you start to become vulnerable, be vulnerable to your people. Let them see your dark side. Let them see your struggles as well. But as you talk about your struggles, talk about the things that you did for you to continually survive and thrive. Why do you need to do that? Because you need to inspire your people to see na, oy, si mentor pala, victim din dati. Ay, si mentor din pala, iyakin. Ay, si mentor din pala na nasaktan, naapektuhan din pala ng crisis. Ay, si mentor din pala kamot ang ulo, hindi alam ang gagawin nung una, but si mentor pala itong ginawa. So you see, maybe a lot of training programs, maybe they're bombarded with different training programs, but it's not enough. It's not enough until they see the proof in one person. Until they see a living proof. Uy, pare-pareho lang naman kami naapektuhan pero look at him, look at her, siya nakabangon kaagad. So with that, you can continue to use that story, and again, hopefully, that's why coaching is very important, with your leaders. Now, after you talk about that story, then through proper coaching, you ask them what's going on, and it's important that you allow them to talk, and that you show that you care about their backstories, that you share, that that they know that you're not just someone who has an inspiring story, but someone that they can really lean on or that can really learn from. So, yun ang sa akin. Continue to live continue to survive and thrive. Tapos you take note of your struggles and then continue to share that para they can see a living proof. Paul?
Yeah.
Yun lang.
Thank you, Arnold. Yeah. Thank you for the answer.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Okay, sandali. Iyan, kung nag-iipon ka pa ng tanong, meron nagtanong. I would like to know how to empower one of my leaders who is very down right now in terms of, baka hindi pwedeng sabihin to. In terms of, pwede naman. In terms of finances, love for the wisdom. Okay. Again, I think connected dito. Muntik basahin yung pangalan niya. I think connected yung tanong mo sa tanong din ni Paul, no? So continue to share your struggles. People love to hear winning stories as well. Which you're doing, 'di ba? Pag nagkakwentuhan kayo ng mga success stories. But don't forget sa success stories yung struggles, ha? Yung struggles. Basta when you talk about your struggles, winning from a winner's perspective, yung tipong, yung hindi yung, wala na nga ako hirap na hirap ako sa buhay. Hindi yung ganung drama, ha? But continue to inspire them with these stories and messages. Thank you. So, thank you lang yon. Thank you po. Tapos sabi, ano po ang bank account number nyo? Mag-deposit. Ay, hindi pala yun. Okay. What to do when you are just checking with people how they are doing, and then they will ask to borrow money since you are doing well. What's the right approach to these people? I already taught you how to do this. Learn to say no. Okay, I think I mentioned this during my talk with LOC. Have a budget para hindi kayo nagsisinungaling. Kasi we don't want to lie, di ba? Na wala kang pwedeng ipautang. I'm just checking my time, ha? Alright, okay. Para hindi ka magsisinungaling, you set aside money lang. Money na 5% lang ang pantulong mo sa ibang tao. Eh, pag naubos yon, talagang be true to it, ha? Eh, si Paul, kaya niyang kahit 50% sa laki ng kinikita niyan. Hindi. Okay, so, for example, ako, maliit lang din yung percentage na inaalat ko. Kaya I can confidently and openly and honestly say no. Because wala na ubos na talaga yung budget. Okay? Sabihin na niya, uy, pwede bang pa-reserve next month? Ang kapal na ng mukha nun pag gagawin niya yun. Pero sige, pagka ginawa niya pa rin yun, pwede bang ako na yung number 1 na pautangin mo for my next month's budget? O di sige, unahin mo siya. Tapos yung percentage mo, hatiin mo sa, halimbawa lang ha, 5% of your income. Hatiin mo sa 1,000 tao na tutulungan mo. Okay? So wag mo ibabagsak sa isang tao lang para meron kang pangbigay pagka may lalapit. I'm so sorry to tell you, all of you. Ganun talaga lalapitan talaga tayo Maganda na yon, tayo yung nilalapitan at hindi tayo yung lumalapit. Alright? Say no. Okay.
Arnold.
Yes, Paul.
Follow-up question.
Sure.
Paano naman kung yung mentor ang ayaw mag-move on? Yung mentor ang in denial, di ba? Pero yung minimentoran niya, is willing, di ba? Now, ang question ko dun is, ano ang pwedeng gawin? Anong advice mo dun sa minimentoran na willing na talaga to go to the new norm? Di ba? May ganyan.
Okay. Hindi ko alam kung joke ba to o seryoso No, well, again, that if that mentor, kung hindi mo naman siya kailangan pag-move nyo to the new norm, kung hindi mo naman kailangan yung approval niya o signature niya, o hindi mo naman kailangan na kasama mo siya palagi, then sometimes you have to go on. You have to continue. You cannot always pull people from, no, hindi palagi, how will I, hindi pwedeng ikaw na lang palagi humihila eh. Sometimes you have to wait for them to reach out as well eh. Kasi baka mamaya tanggapin mo, baka ayaw niya eh. But you just tell them, oh, nandito lang ako ha. Whenever you're ready, you just call my name, you just reach out, sabay tayo. But if you don't wanna go, I'll go ahead ha. Because my family is waiting for me, because my dreams are more important than listening to you. Hindi, walang tamang ganun. Okay? So, but you just tell them what's, kasi, is it awareness? I don't think so. Because bombarded na kayo with different programs. I think it's a choice already. Honor the choice of that person by leaving them behind for a while. Pero sabihin mo, nandito ka lang. Ngayon, pagka gusto niya nang mag-reach out, pagka gusto niya nang mag-move forward, nandun ka lang para tumulong. Did I make sense, Paul?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Alright. Oh, you're welcome. May kakilala akong ganyan din pala, Paul, naalala ko. Sabi ko sa kanya, hindi na kita kukulitin, diyan ka na lang muna. But when you're ready, you call me. Kasi minsan, di ba nakakapagod naman talaga? Hilahin yung mga tao. Nakakapagod na lang na ikaw na lang palagi who cares about them. So, leave them. When they're ready, they will reach out to you. Okay, so
I have one.
Is that a question?
Can I read this?
Sige.
Okay. Her message is how she has trouble accommodating all the questions and questions of her members. So how first is how does she address to all the inquiries, and how can she make them excited again?
Okay. Two different things, no? All right. You know, one of the things that my friend did is he set up this messaging. Alam ko mas alam nyo pa yan, no? Mga messenger bots kung tawagin. So putting up their own FB group or Viber group, no? Viber group community, and just so that everyone is informed, that everyone you can easily reach out to a lot of people. So hopefully yung sagot mo, sagot na rin sa maraming tao. And just again, it's just being in a relationship. Yung establishing the norms of your relationship. For example, my friends, that's why I will always tell my clients, kung may need kayo, just send me a message, shoot me a message, or you call me. Actually, pag nakita kitang missed call, mas urgent yon para sa akin. I always tell my clients and my friends, pagka urgent yan, call me. Basta pag hindi kita nasagot, ibig sabihin, I cannot. Hindi lang talaga pwede. But I will get back to you. So you establish your norms and maybe put up a community through FB Messenger, or through Viber group, or through Viber community para hindi kayo napapagod ng sumagot. Nang pare-pareho lang naman minsan ang concerns. Alright? And how can you, again, continue to bring them up ba? Yun ba? Continue to motivate them? Iyan ba yung tanong?
When their people is losing motivation or excitement, how can she help them get excited again?
Again, just like the things that I answered kay Paul and to a lot of you, continue to be an inspiration. Alam mo, at this point, wala nang spoon feeding eh. Kasi NetDev is doing it na nga eh. NetDev na ang nag-aasikaso ng para lahat sa inyo. So you do your own thing. Just like what, for example, sila LOC. I'm sorry, I keep on mentioning that. Oh, sila Che. What they're doing in Catalyst. Kasi masyado ng bida si LOC. What they're doing is, it's rarely that I open Facebook, my Facebook. Pero lately nagiging active ako. Tapos, makikita ko kung gaano ka-engaged palagi yung grupo nila, Che, and talking about these things. Or maybe we're not friends, I don't see you. But it's all about those things, so that you can continue to share about these things and inspiring people. Again, baka choice na eh. Honor the choice of that person. Kasi, ulitin ko, babalik ulit ako dun sa if how-tos were enough. So, what you do is you set up that system. Di ba yung palagi ko sinasabi, awareness, relationship, culture, system. Once you have set up the system, trust that it will work. Okay? At kung hindi nga kaya talaga, iluhod yan at ipagdasal yung taong yan. Okay? Because at the end of the day, we cannot be everything to everyone. Okay, I'm just doing my time check to honor my commitment. It's now 2:29. Last 5 minutes, Ian. Okay, I got a lot of private messages. I asked Ian to save it and I will get back to you. Okay, lalo nako ang hahaba ng mga private ang hahaba ng mga ibang tanong. Ikaw ba muna bago ako magbasa ulit ng isang tanong, Ian?
Wala na. Nabasa na natin lahat.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, babalik ako doon sa mga private messages, ha? Okay, thank you lang. Ito, thank you. Okay, what affirmations do you use in the mornings and before sleep? Alam mo, I'm very simple. No? I'm a very simple man. I do not